In this module, we will be talking about how Nureva can support divisible rooms. This is a very hot topic at the moment because many organisations are looking to maximise their meeting room real estate, which means having multi-purpose rooms that can be used as small huddle spaces and then opened up into a larger meeting for more people. Nureva has supported divisible meeting rooms for many years, but that functionality is enhanced and improved with the latest generation HDL 310 and 410 solutions, and we will be focusing specifically on those in this module. So we're going to look at what hardware is required, the cabling and configuration, and then we're going to look at some more advanced scenarios where you may want to divide a space into more than 2 rooms but still have audio across all of them. So in terms of required components, you will need either a HDL 410, which obviously comes with a single connect module, or 2 HDL 310s. Now you can do this with 2 HDL 300s, but as I've said, we recommend the HDL 310 for improved sound quality and performance in this environment. As well as the Nureva products, you then need a third-party switch box. This needs to be an RJ45 switcher, and these are a couple of examples that Nureva have tested in their labs and know to work. And in the UK, in our demo centre in Farringdon, we have installed the LCOM switch, which you see at the top here. That works really well, and the benefit of that particular solution is that it's network controllable, so it can be integrated into a control system. However, if you don't want to use either of these, then in terms of the requirements, it must support a minimum of 10/100 base T, and it must be able to pass power over Ethernet in order to power the soundbars. If your switch hits those 2 requirements, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. But bear in mind, it may not have been tested or approved by either Ascente or Nureva. So the first scenario, and the simplest scenario, is where you have 2 meeting rooms and you have a soundbar in each. However, you only want one of those spaces to have audio when the rooms are divided, but you need both soundbars to be live when the room is opened up. And in this scenario, you effectively are turning a HDL 310 into a HDL 410 by adding another soundbar. So here we can see on the right hand side, shaded is our single configuration. When we're in that mode, the soundbar on the left is going to be completely dormant. The soundbar on the right is cabled directly into the Connect module, which obviously is attached to the computer. The second soundbar is connected via the Ethernet switch, which in turn is then connected to the Connect module. So when the Ethernet switch is set to output B, there is no cable connected to output B, so you're in single configuration. When it's turned to output A, the Connect module now has 2 soundbar attached, and therefore you're in open room with both soundbars active. But a much more common scenario is when you have 2 independent soundbars, 1 in each room, and then you want to open it up and have 1 single dual soundbar solution. So in this scenario, we're switching 2 HDL 310s into a single HDL 410. And this looks slightly more complicated, however, it's really not. If we look at the room on the left, first of all, we have our soundbar going into the Ethernet switch. That then goes to a connect module out of output A. Output B of the switch goes to the second room's connect module, and the soundbar in that room is also then connected to the connect module. When the switch is in position A, both of the connect modules have one speaker bar attached, and therefore they are working completely independently. When the Ethernet switch is set to B, room 2 on the right has two soundbars connected and is now effectively turned into a HDL 410. So it's a slightly more complicated solution, but not too difficult to actually configure. However, you can take this further, and you can take this so that you have 3 divisible rooms, and each of those can work completely independently. And if you follow this cabling diagram, they can be used in a variety of scenarios. So we can have all of them working independently, as we can see here, and then we can have rooms 1 and 2 operational. We can have rooms 1 and 3 operational. So you'd open up the entire space, and then you can have room 2 and room 3 working as a single solution. This has already been done in the UK by one of our partners, who very kindly allowed us to use this photo. So this is a scenario where 3 rooms have been set up in exactly that way with the switches. They operate entirely independently, or they can be opened up in a variety of ways in order to get the soundbars to work as a pair. Now, there is a way, and this is kind of hypothetical, but Nureva have tested it and it works, where you can have 4 divisible rooms. Now, this does start to get quite complicated, but in essence, you can have all the rooms working independently. You can then have rooms 1 and 2 working as a larger space. You can have rooms 2 and 3 working as a larger space. You can then also have rooms 3 and 4 working at a larger space. Now, if anybody has a situation like this, I suggest we sit down and we work through it and make sure that we have gone through all the scenarios, and we will probably get Nureva involved in that conversation as well, because this has not been done in the UK currently. The difficulty around this, of course, is if you've got 4 rooms that you want to open up into one large space, it's probably going to be pretty big, and therefore you may struggle in terms of whole mic pickup across a room of that size. Bearing in mind we're still looking at 10.6 by 16.8 meters as a maximum size for a HDL 410 solution. So this is hypothetical. Nureva have done it in the lab. It works. However, we haven't had a real world scenario yet where this has been deployed. So to summarize, Nureva can support up to 4 divisible rooms with a maximum of 2 soundbars active at any one time. In order to switch the signal between the different connect modules, you will require an RJ45 switch, and if you're doing multiple rooms, you will need multiple RJ45 switches. As we get into more complex scenarios, then a control system is recommended to simplify the user experience. We have used Kramer, but any Extron or Crestron, etc. solution will work just as well. So the divisible rooms piece, 90% of the applications we get for it are simply 2 rooms. We have done 3 rooms. We can do 4 rooms. And if you need any assistance on this, then just ask Ascente.